Third and final event of the opening day of the 2016 Reebok CrossFit Games, the chipper featuring some heavy wall balls, some GHDs, and then a sprint up the famous hill here at Aromas, California. In heat number 3, it was Brooke Wells who had a great performance in the deadlift ladder, winning the event, setting the time to beat at 4 minutes 52.36 seconds.
Brooke's powerful legs got her quickly through all 50 wall balls at 20 pounds. That is a ball that's heavier than these girls are typically using in competition, and that huge lead gave her enough time to be methodical and consistent without rushing on the GHD for 25 reps, which conserved just enough energy so she could move quickly up the hill.
Brooke Wells had enough energy to move consistently towards the top of that famous hill in Aromas, and although she didn't run, she did move quickly enough to set the time to beat. And after a disappointing performance in the 7K trail run where she finished 37th, she has a chance to win her second straight event here at Aromas as the women in the fourth and final heat take the floor. A pair of champions right next to each other, Samantha Briggs in lane 4. She won the 7K trail run earlier in the day, and Annie Thorisdottir in lane 3.
It should be a great race between the two of them. However, Sam typically does better on the longer events. I don't know if she's going to have enough time to make up ground on Annie, because Annie Thorisdottir is a machine when it comes to these types of events, especially with that many wall balls. She has powerful legs, strong legs, and she has the experience of this hill behind her.
Final heat of event 3 is underway, and we start with 50 wall balls with that 20-pound ball. After that, 25 GHD sit-ups holding that ball, and then they have to tote that thing up the hill to close out the event. And everybody's chasing Brooke Wells. She has the time to beat, 4 minutes 52.36 seconds. Mentioned that Annie Thorisdottir is right next to Samantha Briggs, 2 down from her on her left, a woman she's familiar with in competition. That's Sarah Sigmundsdottir, the woman who finished 3rd at the 2015 Reebok CrossFit Games.
Annie, 3 girls from your left, she just looks so consistent. Watch how her feet stay planted on the ground. She has no wasted effort. She has been solid all the way from the beginning, the first rep, while some of the other ladies are bobbling or wiggling. Her core grounds her, and this is where she really doesn't waste any energy. She's conserving as much as possible for the sprint.
Annie Thorisdottir, Lauren Fisher, Sarah Sigmundsdottir, and Sam Briggs all on the screen going through those 50 wall balls. A no rep on the right. That was Candace Wagner, who did very well, finished 2nd in the deadlift ladder, the second of 3 events here today. And these women just found out about this event minutes earlier.
This event, especially with these first 50 wall balls being so heavy, really takes a toll on your legs that have already been beat up from the trail run, the deadlift. This is a really taxing combination of events that Dave Castro threw at them back to back to back. Sam Briggs already had to break the wall balls. That's showing signs of fatigue already. That's not what you want to see when you know you still have the GHDs and the hill.
Sarah Sigmundsdottir is down to her final 2 reps as Annie Thorisdottir is the first to move to the 25 GHD sit-ups. More judges' hands in the air signifying the final reps for their athletes, but it's Sigmundsdottir and Thorisdottir, the first 2 onto those GHDs, and now rookie Tennille Reed is onto the GHDs, as is Margot Alvarez. And here comes Lauren Fisher and Sam Briggs.
And this is the heat where I expect to see more of a closer race there at the top of the hill, where they'll get to get a little more push, and hopefully we'll get to see who was smart enough early on in this event to have enough to push through the end of that sprint.
Sarah Sigmundsdottir moving at a steady pace as she is trying to reel in Annie Thorisdottir, who is the first woman onto those GHD sit-ups. Everybody again chasing Brooke Wells. She did this event in 4 minutes 52.36 seconds. Following this movement, it's that final run up the hill, and these women have to carry that 20-pound med ball with them. And now Annie Thorisdottir down to her final 4 reps.
The hardest part about the GHD sit-ups is that you're breathing so hard from all those wall balls, but you have to brace your abs and stay tight to get yourself all the way up. This is very taxing on the girls.
Thorisdottir is done, and she will hoist that ball up to her shoulder and now make her way up the hill, and she starts out running. Now, we've seen women in prior heats start at a good pace, but once they get about to the midway point of this hill, they start to slow down.
But if there's ever a spot you should run, it's here early on where the grade of that hill is not as steep, and you don't want to because you just came off of the wall balls, the GHDs, but if you can, this is a little flatter area. It doesn't take as much out of you. Run, get yourself as much distance from the athletes behind you. too.
Behind Thorisdottir's Tanil Reed, she's on the right of your screen. Sarah Sigmundsdottir in the green shorts, followed by Samantha Briggs and Margot Alvarez. Lauren Fisher closing out her GHDs, and she will try to catch up to the leaders who have a significant lead here on the hill. That's a look at the ground that she has to make up. Annie Thorisdottir is on the right. That's the lead that she has over second place Tanil Reed, and Annie Thorisdottir has a shot here of beating Brooke Wells' time.
She's watched video from 2009 when she ran this hill before, and there's nothing like getting a second chance to be back up that hill, to get to make another run for it. I love seeing this push. I love seeing her run as long as she can. In the other heats, we didn't see that quite as much, so it's great to see her make a push there, and I bet she's feeling the burn now, Sean.
Annie Thorisdottir is well ahead of Brooke Wells' pace, so Thorisdottir is looking to get another top 10 finish here on day number 1, and Annie Thorisdottir with just about 10 feet to go, and she will win event number 3 with a time of 4:28.51 seconds.
Solid push to the end, and I love the typical positioning. You either collapse or just stop because your legs are stuck.
Rookie Tanil Reed is still in second place, so Tanil Reed will get across the finish line. She will not beat Brooke Wells' time, but she gets in at 4:53.30 seconds. Here are your top 10 as Samantha Briggs will finish in 6th. Sarah Sigmundsdottir is in 4th.
Last time you did this, it was just a sprint. How did this compare?
This definitely fried the quads beforehand. So I didn't know how much this would hurt. I expected it to hurt a lot, but it didn't really start hurting until like last 15, 20 seconds. It's just, for me, I was just keeping my head down, looking in front of me, and I just count 10 breaths at a time and keep moving.
And thanks to that win, Annie Thorisdottir has the overall lead after day 1 by just 2 points over Samantha Briggs. Tia Toomey sits in 3rd place, in contention once again for a podium spot.